Hello, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I've given up relationships. Why? I hear you all cry, all three of you. Because they weren't working. Why weren't they working? Because of me. I really think that if you want a loving relationship with somebody else, you have to have a loving relationship with yourself. And that's something I've struggled with all my life, really. I'm getting better at it now. I'm getting into a habit of acknowledging my good side, my good points, my achievements, and everything else that is good about me. But of course, it's almost like my default setting is to be critical, so it's easy to fall back into that. But I've made the mistake, like I think many of us do, in thinking that I will be happy, my life will be whole and complete, and I'll live happily ever after if I meet the right person. But it's wrong. That is completely wrong. And I learned some time ago that no man is going to make me feel fantastic and great about myself. I obviously don't want a man who's going to make me feel the opposite of that, but I have to feel that way about myself first. And that's the irony in the situation. You're wanting so much to feel good about yourself, and you're chasing after that in other people, and you don't get it because you are chasing after it, and because you don't actually believe that about yourself, you don't feel that about yourself. And what seems to happen is that when you're feeling good about yourself, your experiences with other people improves, your relationships improve. And that's, I don't know if paradox is the right word. I meant to look it up actually before I was doing this video, but anyway. But it's certainly ironic that when you're not looking for love because you love yourself and you don't need to have somebody else loving you, then it comes along. So I'm led to believe anyway. No, I believe that is true, because certainly as time has gone on and I've acknowledged my own worth a bit more, then I have better experiences in life. So it makes sense that the more you like yourself and you get to loving yourself, then you're going to meet people who reflect that back to you. Because that's the thing, all our experiences are a reflection of us, what we believe about ourselves, what we think we deserve, etc. So if you've got shit going down in your life, you need to look at your part in it. How are you attracting it? What is it about yourself that is making those kind of things come to pass? And of course a lot of us don't do that, we just blame the other person. It's like the last relationship I had with somebody who I felt I really cared about him. He didn't really care as much about me as I cared about him. And really that was just a reflection of how I felt about myself. And I got to the point where I thought, this situation is not good enough for me, I'm going to end it. And I did end it, and it hurt like hell to do that, and I was thinking, if this is the right thing, why does it feel so shite? But sometimes that's the case, because it's letting go of something which can hurt. But I gave a message to the universe that I deserve better than that, and hopefully one day I'll have better than that. But for now, relationships are on the back burner. Well, they're not even on the back burner. They're in a cupboard somewhere. Cupboard's locked. It's not happening. Because until I have that relationship with myself, which is kind, caring, understanding, warm, encouraging, empowering, respectful, then I'm not going to have a relationship with anybody else, because I won't get what I want. And I may never get to that point, who the hell knows? But until I do get to that point, if I get to that point, I'm not going to waste my time having a relationship, because it won't be what I want. And it might mean that I'm single for the rest of my life, Well, there's worse things happened at sea, really. It'd be nice to share my life with somebody, but if it doesn't happen, I've got enough going on to keep me interested in life. But I'm sharing this because I don't think I'm alone. And certainly relationships can feel like an addiction. They have done for me, along with all the other addictions I've had. Drugs, alcohol, food, what have you. And we can get strong feelings where relationships are concerned, and we can think, I really love that person. But it's not love, it's need, it's dependency. And we should be going into a relationship with a full love tank. That is, our tank of love is full. And a lot of us are not in that place. Our love tank is running on very low. And ideally, we wouldn't be in that place when we start a relationship, because we need to be thinking about what we can give to the other person, how we can love the other person. And they should be at that point also. But what happens so often, and I know it's happened with me, is that I've been thinking, what can I get from this person? I need this person to love me, what's and all. And that's not a good place to start from, really. Which is maybe why my relationships haven't worked out a lot of the time. Because the thing is, people get together and they make a lot of effort to start with. You know, they're attentive and they're caring and they're affectionate and they're generous and everything else. And then after a while, that stops happening so much. And then the other person becomes resentful, or, you know, they both become resentful because the other person is not putting in so much effort anymore. But it's because their love tank is it's really, really low, or it's just run out altogether. So then those two people decide to break up and go away feeling hurt, betrayed, whatever, and then get into other relationships and go through the whole cycle again and again and again. So my advice would be, if you're in that position, would be to stop having relationships for a while at least. You know, and I know that's a scary thought for some people, because being alone, it seems like for some people it's like worse than death. I actually don't mind being on my own. There's lots of advantages to being on your own, but some people can't hack it. But what's better, to be on your own or to have destructive relationships which damage your self-esteem, damage your confidence? Because that's what can happen when you keep having destructive relationships. But yes, I was saying that they can be quite addictive, and you get those strong feelings like you do with drugs. But like all drugs, whether it's alcohol, recreational drugs, food, whatever, you get the high and then you get the low, and it's just not a good place to be. It doesn't do us any good. And certainly if you don't love yourself to start with, and you keep having these relationships which are damaging you, I'd say self-esteem is just going to go lower and lower. So take a break from it. Get to know yourself. Learn how to love yourself, or to like yourself at least. You know, the reason why people end up in abusive relationships is because they don't love themselves. They don't even like themselves. They think it's what they deserve. And if they end an abusive relationship, they'll end up going back into another one. And you know, and tragically, some people don't survive those relationships, and it's because they don't love themselves. And we need to learn to. But only by giving up relationships for a while and working on yourself and the relationship you have with yourself are you going to hopefully get to a point where you can have a decent relationship, a loving relationship. Because we all deserve to have that. We all deserve to be cared for and respected. But until you've got to that point yourself, with yourself, did I just say that? you're not going to get it with anyone else. So yes, I think that's all I want to say about that. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!